Hi, I trust you're having a wonderful week, a wonderful day. It's time for a Wednesday devotional, and I trust this will be a blessing and a challenge to you. Like you, I've listened to the current controversies, so many right now, the dangers of the coronavirus, whether or not wearing masks is really effective, the rise and fall of all the numbers of those who are sick in our state and in our nation. Then we have the controversies about the election, whether or not there was voter fraud, and all these things. Sometimes I just want to go to sleep, take a nap, and wake up and realize this was all just a bad dream. But it isn't. In fact, I've wanted to find some real answers. I've talked to some of you, perhaps, who are listening. I've met with our deacons and lay assistants. I've even talked with my wife. And yet, we don't have real answers to many of these questions. I've listened to our governor and tried to make sense for our church as to what we can do and what we can't do. And just this week, there was apparently a lawsuit resolved or settled that dealt with churches. I've been reading that information to see if that affects us any and see if there are more things we can do without the regulations we've been under. But I'm not discouraged. In fact, I want to share with you, when you come to a time when you have a need of wisdom or a need of counsel or any needs, a way we can resolve those needs. You see, your needs and my needs may not be the same. Some of our needs are physical needs, health and safety. Some of our needs are financial needs. Just this week, I received an email and someone said they were up to their knees in debt. That your need might be an emotional need. Those who are dealing with all kinds of stress, those who have lost loved ones, those who have not been able to visit their loved ones in nursing homes, and those who have had other problems. You may have that kind of a need. And you may have a spiritual need. If you're listening to this and you're not saved, you have a spiritual need. You need to take care of that as quickly as you can. But if you're saved, you can still have spiritual needs. You can need God's direction in some areas of your life. Let me share with you for just a few moments some verses from Hebrews chapter 4. Hebrews chapter 4 gives us instructions about what to do in time of need. Listen to this as I read Hebrews chapter 4, beginning in verse 14. Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast our profession. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. Now this is verse 14, Hebrews 4, 14. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help, listen, in time of need. Whatever your need is, we can find help in time of need. I'll give you two thoughts, and that'll be the devotion for today, although there really is a lot more here, and you may hear this someday as a message. But we find in time of need that God has provided a place. Where do we turn when we have a need? We may go to a doctor's office. We may go to an emergency room. If it's financial, we may go to a bank or some lending institution. And, as I heard a man say this week, we go to the internet. We Google our problem and see what we can find out. The best place to go is mentioned here in Hebrews chapter 4, the throne of grace. Sometimes when we think about going to God, we think of the throne of judgment, and one day there will be a throne of judgment. But he says we can go now to a throne of grace, a throne of grace. The good thing about this is it's available anytime. And I called this week a doctor's office, and I was checking on an appointment, or trying to. And when I called, I realized, though it was during regular business hours, they had restricted their hours and shortened their hours and we're not available to take the phone call. Our throne of grace is available at any time. In fact, often it's times in the middle of the night or times when no one else is around when we need access to the throne of grace. And it's available at any time. Not only that, it's available without cost. When I go to a doctor's office, I have to provide proof of insurance so they're sure I can pay the bill. Going to the throne of grace doesn't cost. It's available without cost. God has provided a place. Not only that, God has provided a person. Verse 16 says, let us therefore come boldly under the throne of grace. The therefore refers back to verse 14, which says, seeing then that we have a great high priest. What a joy. He's the one, this high priest, Jesus, the Son of God, he's the one that has redeemed us. He knows us personally. He's already been in touch with us. And if we're saved, we have been in touch with him. He has redeemed us. And now, thank God, he's the one who will represent us. He'll represent us to God. As the one who became man, he knows what it's like to be human. And as the one who is God, he knows what it's like to be God. He can take us as humans to God as God and intercede for us. God provided a place and God provided a person. What a joy it is. Today, if you're overwhelmed or if you just find yourself in a time of need, we know where to go. We go to the throne of grace. We know to whom we should go. We go to the great high priest, Jesus Christ, the Son of God. I hope you're encouraged today. God bless you.